Mikko the Moose Rantanen does it again. He seals the victory with a highlight reel tally as the Stars break through in Vancouver. Jake Oettinger in the PK comes up huge as the Stars kick off this crucial road trip with a victory over the Canucks.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Friday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. The Dallas Stars break through in Vancouver last night by a final score of 4-2, and they needed a little bit of everything in this one. Their big boys, Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson, convert. Their depth pieces, Colin Blackwell and Maverick Bourque, score big-time goals. The PK comes up huge. Jake Oettinger with a massive bounce-back game. Everybody had a hand in this 4-2 victory to kick off a massive, massive road trip. We're going to dive into all of it on today's episode of Locked On Stars. Plus, we're going to play Galaxy Grades to kick you into the weekend. So sit back, relax, grab a beverage, and let's break down this really, really tasty 4-2 victory for the Dallas Stars last night on the road. Just a really gritty road win for Dallas. It was not easy. We'll start with Mikko Rantanen because the backhand spinorama top cheddar was just as delicious as it could have been. And the most impressive thing about the goal for the Moose was the lack of celebration. He just curled behind the net, shrugged it off. I do this. Jamie Benn looked like he scored the goal with how excited he was when he bear hugged the Moose to seal off the 4-2 victory. The Canucks didn't even have a chance to pull the goalie before then, since Mikko went down, deposits it into the back of the net, and the Stars had a comfortable 2-goal lead, which they really earned in this one. They were swimming for large chunks of that second period, and that's where my biggest takeaway probably from the night comes, was just the depth for Dallas on the back end and up front. The Stars get a massive goal early. Massive is going to be an adjective used quite a bit in this one. They score in the opening minute. Justin Ricciovian with hard work. He sets up Maverick Bourque, who had a wide open net, and that line was really effective once again last night. Beck, Bourque, and Ricciovian, they kick off the game with an early tally. Stars got out in front. Vancouver eventually equalized, but that line just gave Dallas energy. And they also had to do the majority of the defending in that second period. They had to do the majority of the work on the PK. Miro Heiskanen played a ton, but it's guys like Beck, it's guys like Blackwell, it's guys like Radek Faksa who had to put this game on their shoulders and just get Dallas to the third period. The Canucks had a 5-on-3 for a minute 20. The Stars were able to survive it, and then they were able to get to work in the third period. But Jake Oettinger was massive as well. That was a brilliant game for him. The Canucks ended up outshooting the Stars 36-24. The Canucks ended up with a total of 10 shots on goal on the power play, but I think they only had 3 during that 5-on-3 stretch. I thought Dallas did an excellent job of keeping Vancouver to the perimeter and not allowing those easy cross-crease passes for backdoor tap-ins. And Jake Oettinger made some massive saves. Stars got some key clearances as well. They were unable to kill off the first opportunity Vancouver got, which they were able to equalize the game on. But after that, the PK held firm, and that second period was so big for Dallas. They ended up being outshot 15-6, and they just could never get a rhythm in the game. The first period was pacey. The Stars actually kept up with the Canucks. I thought they were competitive. They were energetic. They were keeping pace with a pretty quick, heavy team, and it made for fun hockey. But then the second period, the Stars just got in that penalty trouble, and they put a large load last night on their depth, and they did an excellent job. Otter is the number one reason the Stars won last night, but I mean, just a smidge behind that is guys like Bourque, Ricciovian, Beck, Foxa, who were admirable on the PK last night just to keep Dallas in it. And it wasn't pretty at times. The Stars just struggled to get out of their own zone in that second period. Vancouver was just coming in waves. By the time Dallas could get out of their own zone, all they could do was get it deep and get a change. Even that was a chore last night. That is just a gritty road victory for Dallas. No other way to describe it. A gritty road win. That's a massive 2 points against a team that I think is really good. The Stars have nightmares in that building as well for whatever reason, but they just did enough. And we talked about it in yesterday's episode in the preview. The Stars were going to have to capitalize on their chances. When they got their looks, they needed to convert. And for the most part, they did. You look at the 5-on-5 numbers, you would think they would be skewed more in favor of Vancouver, but it's really not the case. Vancouver was outshot 22-17 at 5-on-5. They did outchance the Stars 23-21, but the Stars had a higher expected goals for average, 1.87. And I thought Dallas at 5-on-5 looked dangerous at points. But that second period, they just got thrown out of whack. So by the time they even got out of penalty trouble, they were able to kill off a couple of penalties. Everything was just thrown out of balance. And it was just, let's just get to the third period and we'll reset. And that's what they did. And then they came out and were able to get on the attack a bit more and just reset. And then Blackwell. I mean, what can you say about the game winner last night? I know I'm slobbering over Mikko, but let's share some love to Colin Blackwell. That was a goal scorer's goal from Blackwell last night. I mean, back bar, what a pretty shot past Lankinen. And again, it's great transition work and great defending by some depth guys. First one back, Leon Bischel on your third pairing. He takes out his man. Beck was tracking back. He gets the loose puck, chips it ahead. Fox with a beautiful pass from center ice. He hits Blackwell in stride, and then Blackwell with a beautiful goal. Like, those are the unsung heroes for the Stars. Those are the unsung players that win you playoff games. Those are the unsung heroes that win you Stanley Cups. Of course, you need your big boys to be your big boys. And Robo picks up another goal. My goodness, he can't be stopped. He has 9 goals in his last 5 games. I was saying it yesterday. A week and a half ago, he was stuck on 2 goals. And now he's up to the team lead, and he's the hottest goal scorer on the planet right now. But you need players like Blackwell. In Ritzy, who was great last night. Man, I really enjoy watching him. That line just buzzes around. They're relentless. The Stars had no forecheck in the second period outside of that line alone. It felt like when Dallas was on their heels, the one line that was able to spend some time in the attacking zone was Ritzy's line. And they continue to be really, really darn good for Dallas, and they come up huge with a big-time goal. And the depth did as well. That was a really thrilling 4-2 victory. I just had a feeling watching it last night in the third period, Dallas was going to get one and steal the game. Whether they deserved it or not is another question, but I think they did. To survive a minute 20 of 5-on-3 time, your PK comes up big. Otter did not have the best start. I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a long night if Otter is going to play like he was in the first period. He wasn't awful, but I wasn't thoroughly impressed with the first 20 minutes from him. But he stood tall the rest of the way. I mean, he stopped 34-36. He ended up with the first star of the night, and certainly deserved it. And you play and you pay players like Rantanen to score big time goals like he did last night. And that was as delicious as can be. Stars come out of it 4-2. And again, you look at the 5-on-5 numbers, it felt like Dallas was being just hemmed in for large chunks of that second period. And they were, but a large part of it, I just think, was the momentum off the power plays for Vancouver. Although they weren't able to score. I mean, the PK goes 4 for 5 last night. That was massive. We'll talk about Otter some more. Big game from him, and the penalty kill, which held firm, in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth between 401ks, savings, and investments. It's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why you need Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It helps you organize your accounts. You can track your spending and just get a better handle on your investments without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. You can review everything with your partner or yourself. That way, you're just making smarter financial decisions. You know where your money's going, and you can make it work harder for you. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Jake Oettinger with a big-time bounce back last night in Vancouver. He stopped 34 of 36, and he also had to face 5 Vancouver Canuck power plays, which are very good, as we saw last night. Man, Quinn Hughes is just special. He's special. I love Miro Heiskanen, of course, but Quinn Hughes is just on another level, especially offensively. His ability to find passing lanes, to just maneuver and find ways to get pucks on net is something else. Although Miro did end up with an assist last night on the Rantanen goal. Hughes was actually kept off the score sheet, so the Stars did a great job there. But the Canucks had 40 scoring chances in the game. They outchanced Dallas 40-25. Of course, a large chunk of that was on the power play, but that is the type of chaos Jake Oettinger had to deal with. And I haven't loved his last couple of starts, although he's won a few of them. He just looks a bit out of sorts at points, especially the first period last night. I thought he looks a tad out of sorts, but something flipped in the second period, and he was just dialed in. And for whatever reason, this is sort of a theme probably with a lot of goaltenders, not just Jake, but Jake in particular. When he faces a large amount of shots, he's like incredible. I have to find the numbers for it, but I believe there's a stat out there. If he faces like 30 or more shots, his numbers are just sensational. For whatever reason, when he faces a high amount of volume, and I get it, you feel like you're in the game, you get in a zone when you're facing that amount of shots. But he was spectacular, and boy, did the Stars need him, because it felt like Vancouver, after that first period, may get 5 on the night, and Dallas was really going to have to empty the tank to try to keep them off the board anymore. But he held it down. He held it down, and it's not like the Stars were blocking a ton of shots. The Stars did have 20 on the night, but when you factor in Vancouver still had 36 shots on net, that's not a ton of blocks. Their expected goals for on the night in all situations 4.19. So Jake had a big night. That was great to see. The PK held firm. He was a big part of it, of course. The Stars actually struggled to get the puck down the ice on most of their penalty kills. They were just holding on. The Canucks had a lot of zone time, and part of it was Vancouver's puck movement was good. Dallas just had to kind of stay in structure and do their best to get sticks and passing lanes. But when there was some chances to pounce, they did really well. That last PK they had in particular was strong. And Dallas is starting to find a rhythm. I think coming into the game last night, they killed off 13 consecutive penalties, which was the longest stretch of the season. Unfortunately, Vancouver was able to cash in on their first opportunity, but the Stars were perfect from there. And that's a tough thing to do against a Vancouver unit that deploys a lot of talent. Like Besser's dangerous. He had a couple of great looks, and Otter had to fight off a couple of saves. That one save he made in the second period when Connor Garland came rushing in, and Garland threw it through the crease, and then Brock Besser, I know it wasn't Besser, I think it was one of the Pedersons, came off the bench and tried to fire it home, and Otter was without his stick and came over and pawed it down. Was an incredible save. That was probably his best save of the night, and certainly the most highlight reel worthy. So that was a big night for him. And just the combination of him and the PK, I'm going to use the phrase again, but I said it last night, or I said it in yesterday's episode. If Dallas gets above average goaltending, they're going to win the majority of their games. I think they're too good offensively right now with the way Robo and Rantanen are going. They're starting to find a 5-on-5 game. They're just trending in the right direction. Their defense of structure is starting to find a groove as well. I think they've started to feel comfortable in their own skin is sort of how I would describe it. They look just more comfortable in what they're trying to do, what they're trying to execute. And if Otter is on his game and dialed, that combination of everything is huge. Like that combination is almost unstoppable. And you're not going to get above average goaltending every night. That's a big ask. But you get it the majority of the time between him and DeSmith. The Stars are going to cruise into the postseason. They're going to cruise into playoffs if Otter and DeSmith play the way they're capable of. And there's going to be nights, of course, you need the offense to come up big and pull you to victories. Going to be some nights where your defense has to step up. But last night, I liked the fact that it was a little bit of everything for Dallas. I think that's my just main takeaway from the whole thing. You got great goaltending. PK was big. Power play, unfortunately, did not cash in. That was maybe the lone negative or the lone black hole, if we're sort of teasing towards Galaxy grades for Dallas last night. But then you got your Robos, your Rantanens, who are just on fire. And it wasn't easy for them last night either. They struggled to get some looks at points. There was times where they had to defend for long stretches. The Ricciovian line ended up with 7 scoring chances and just 1 against. I got to harp back on them, on the depth. 7 scoring chances to 1 against for Ricciovian, Bourque, and Beck at 5-on-5. They were the best trio last night. They were excellent. Jamie Benn, who was with Wyatt and Mikko for a chance, they had 5 scoring chances for, but 7 against. Rope's line, 4 scoring chances for, 3 against. I think that's a really solid sign for Dallas that you have a trio like Ricciovian's line that can just give you a spark, give you energy when you need it, because you know your guys like Robo and Rantanen are going to be there. And if they get their looks, they can cash in. But you get the help from the Bourques of the world. Good for him, man. He needs the offense to come. I want Bourque to start just piling on points because he affects the game in so many ways that don't show up on the stat sheet. I would love for him to start getting some more credit and just being talked about a bit more if the points start to come along as well. I try to give him some love here on Locked On Stars because what he can do defensively and his work along the walls, he's so much stronger on the puck this year. That's one thing I notice. He's so much stronger protecting away from bigger defenders, stronger defenders. He's able to stay on his feet and make plays that way. Whereas last year, I felt like he was maybe easily moved off some of those pucks and just struggled to maybe be confident. Part of it is probably just more confident, right? He was around the block last year, so he got a taste, and it was up and down for him. And now he's trying to really take control of his spot, just take control of his game. And he had a big night for the Stars. Let's give a lot of love to some defensemen that played a lot of minutes on the PK. Miro played 5.5 minutes. God, he was out there for forever. Esa Lindell, he was big. Even Bichel and Petrovic, they were out there for a large chunk of it. I thought the Stars blue line, again, looked okay. Capobianco, he struggled last night. I thought him and Koliochona were not as good as they were against the Islanders the other night. I thought they just held on to some pucks too long in the game at points. But with them, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. They're being asked to just play some pretty high leverage minutes at this point. Like, the Stars don't have a choice. They're kind of getting thrown into the fire. So they're going to make mistakes. And I'm kind of okay with that, right? I'm okay to live with some of those. It's the Lindells and Miro that have a bit more pressure on them to almost, be perfect, because like teams are going to get some looks off of them. Although they weren't bad last night. Let's not, I guess try not to make an issue out of something that wasn't. But they're going to have some issues here and there. And Dallas is going to have to weather the storm. And that was the second period for the most part, with the penalty trouble that Dallas got into. But I think that was a big confidence booster for the Dallas PK, especially after giving up a goal. You're like, we've been doing well. You give up that one. It could have really spiraled last night. And to come out of a 5-on-3 unscathed for over a minute, you could not have asked for more for Dallas. They never trailed in the game. That was one of the more spectacular things. Never trailed in the game. I think that says a lot about where Dallas is right now. Okay, let's do some Galaxy grades. They're always fun. Give me your black hole, your shooting star in supernova from last night. I'll share mine in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Ricciovian. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Ricciovian comes in. Ricciovian.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and making moves. Ricciovian makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, so no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, and if you get it prescribed, it ships discreetly to your door. It's fast, simple, and it's private. It's all handled by real doctors as well. It's about confidence, so you can start making moves and being in the moments that matter. Visit Ricciovian.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET, Ricciovian.com/LockedOnNHL. Don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know we sent you. Ricciovian, stop making excuses and start making moves. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's right. You go in, deposit $5, you play it on the NBA. Maybe it's college football here over the weekend. Maybe it's the NFL. FanDuel has a lot of options for you to play how you want to play. And you're going to get $300 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. It's a no-brainer. Head to FanDuel.com to sign up. Play your game with FanDuel. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Time for Galaxy grades on this Friday edition of Locked On Stars, kicking you off into your weekend. As always, thank you so much for the love and support and making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. I'm currently in New Mexico, a 3-game series for the Corpus Christi Ice Race, so it's going to be a busy weekend for me. Hopefully I have an episode out on a Monday to break down what occurred over the weekend, but there's going to be some travel issues potentially with me trying to get back home for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So I'll be sure to keep everybody informed on that. But let's get into some Galaxy grades, which is always fun. For those of you that are new, it's sort of like a 3 stars thing. You give out a black hole, which is negative, though, a shooting star, and a supernova. Supernova is your first star, shooting star your second, and I guess the black hole is like a negative star, if you will. Something bad that happened, and it could be anything. It doesn't even have to be maybe even related to the game if there's something that occurred. We'll start with the black hole. And we have to get it. We have to give it to the power play last night. It's been so good this year, and I was disgusted by probably 92% of the power play time the Stars had yesterday. They struggled to get set up. Part of it was they just could not win a faceoff. The first 2.5 periods, they could not win a faceoff to save their lives. Vancouver just dominated Dallas on the dots. They won 35 of the 57 faceoffs in the game. For whatever reason, the Stars just could not win a draw. And that was a large chunk of their issues on the power play. But they struggled on their entries as well. Just not a fan. It was a giant black hole. If you look at the faceoffs on the power play, the Stars were 1 for 3. So yeah, just not pretty from the Stars in that perspective. So it's a black hole, the power play for the Dallas Stars. Now your shooting star, I'm going to give it to Ricciovian. Ritzy was buzzing last night. He gets an assist in the game. He ends up playing 10 and a half minutes. Look at the numbers for him. When he's on the ice, 7 shots to 1, goals for 1-0, chances 7-2. Like, that is making the most out of your opportunity. Ritzy and Bourque, they're kind of like a combined shooting star here. I love Ricciovian with a passion. This guy cannot be sent out. He needs to be in the lineup. I think he's forced his way to stay, even when everybody comes back healthy with Duchesne and Ernie. He's earned himself a spot on this roster. So Ritzy is going to get my shooting star, maybe a half one with Bourque as well. They were really effective. Our supernova, it's going to go to Colin Blackwell. He gets the GWG. He was instrumental on the Stars PK as well. He was very, very effective. He played over 3 minutes, did an excellent job there, and he scores a goal. Every once in a while, it feels like Blackwell just gets his epiphany, like he's Mikko. We saw this last year, right? Every once in a while, he has an epiphany. He's like, you know, I'm going to toe drag around you and score just a beautiful dally. And that's what we got last night. So we're going to Blackwell the supernova. Share some love to our depth pieces last night that get a big victory on the road. That was a satisfying win for Dallas. That was a satisfying win last night. And I'm fired up about it. That gives you a lot of confidence moving forward. You got an awful Calgary team upcoming, so let's not crap the bed there. And then Edmonton, Seattle, maybe a toss-up, but going to be good games. So just a good way to start off the road trip. And it's a good bounce-back win for Dallas as well. All good things happening here. Stars are trending. And I'll say it again before we leave. I think the Stars are starting to become comfortable in their skin. Starting to feel comfortable. The changes that Goldson has made, it's starting to sink in. It's a bad start for the anti-Goldson crowd. It's a bad start. The Stars are second in the Central. It's a bad start for you guys. You got to put your hand up and be accountable. I know we're only 21 games in, but 29 points. They're behind a team that has lost 1 game in regulation. So that's pretty darn good. And they're second in the league. It's a bad start for the anti-Goldson crowd. Alrighty, Stars fans, have a great weekend. We'll catch you on a Monday, and we'll see you then. So long.